Now, let us begin our class with Brahmanad. Om. Om. Shanti. 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 Swastha. Today, let us discuss auxiliaries. What do you mean by auxiliaries? Auxiliaries are the helping verbs. They help us in the formation of tense, in the formation of voice, and in the formation of modes. And you know, auxiliaries are of two types. What are they? They are primary auxiliary and modal auxiliary. Clear? Which verbs are used as primary auxiliary? The forms of to be, the forms of to have, and the forms of to do are used as primary auxiliary. What are the forms of to be? The forms of to be are is, am, are, was, were, been, and being. What are the forms of to have? The forms of to have are has, have, had. And what are the forms of to do? The forms of to do are do, does, did. So what have you understood? Is, am, are, was, were, been, being, has, have, had, do, does, did. These are used as primary auxiliaries. If you count, the total number will be 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. These 13 verbs are used as primary auxiliary. Clear? Now come to modal auxiliary. What do you mean by modal auxiliary? The auxiliaries that convey a request or duty or certainty or promise or assurance or threat or obligation or seeking permission or giving permission or possibility, etc. is known as modal auxiliary. Clear? And which verbs are used as modal auxiliary? They are shall, will, can, may, should, would, could, might, must, ought to, used to, dare, and need. If you count, you will get 13 number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And these 13 verbs are used as modal auxiliaries. Now, let us go through the activities of the text. As you have already read in your school level, the usages of these modals shall, will, can, may, should, would, could, might, we are not going to explain them individually, but we will take some of the modals and how they are used in different expressions such as request or duty or certainty or promise or assurance or threat or obligation or seeking permission or giving permission or possibility, etc. that we will explain. Clear? Now let us go through modal verbs. It is in our book 4. We have already explained to you about auxiliaries. Clear? Modal verbs or modal auxiliaries. In section 1, we are saying making requests. We use the modal auxiliaries can, could, may, will, would for making requests. And remember, my students, can as a modal auxiliary is used for making informal requests, whereas could as a modal auxiliary is used for making more formal and polite requests. May as a modal auxiliary is used rather for making formal requests. Will as a modal auxiliary is used to make requests when we don't need to be particularly formal or particularly polite. What have you understood? When we don't need to be particularly formal or polite, then we use the modal auxiliary will for making requests. Would you, or would you mind is used when we want to be more polite or formal. So, what have you understood? Would you or would you mind is used when we want to be more polite and more formal. Now, let us go through a few situations of activity 1. In activity 1, we have been said here, make a request to shoot each of the situations mentioned below using an appropriate modal auxiliary. Let us study the first situation. You need some money. Ask a friend to lend you some. See, we are not formal with our friends and with our mothers. But we are very much formal with our superiors, with our father and strangers. As we are not formal with our friend, we should use can as a modal auxiliary. Can is used for making an informal request. Informal. Clear? You need some money. Ask a friend to lend you some. Here in the bracket, can is already given. So, what will be the answer? Can you lend me some money? Can you lend me some money? You may use please, you may not use also please. But here, when you say to your friend, can you lend me your dictionary? Can you lend me your book? Or can you lend me your bicycle? Or can you lend me some money? In these situations, can is used as a modal auxiliary for making informal requests. Now let us proceed to the second one. You want someone to tell you how to reach the railway station. Here in this situation, we have been said, you are taking the help of someone who is not known to you. In this situation, you should not be informal, rather you should be formal. And for formal requests, what do we use? We use the modal either could or would. Would you tell me, would you tell me the way to the railway station? If you use which, you can use comma, then which. If you ask, sir, if we use could, will it be wrong? No, it will not be wrong. As both would and could as modal auxiliaries are used for making formal requests. You can also write, could you tell me the way to the railway station? Or if you don't want to be particularly polite or formal, you may also use the modal auxiliary will. Will you tell me the way to the railway station, please? Clear? In your mind, the question may arise if we use the modal will. Will it be wrong? No, it will not be wrong. It depends on you. If you want to be formal, if you want to make formal request to the person, you can use the modal auxiliary either would or could. And when you don't want to be particularly polite or formal, then you can use the modal auxiliary will. Here, you can use the modal auxiliary would, you can use the modal auxiliary could, or you can also use the modal auxiliary can. Or you may ask, sir, may is used for making formal request. Can't we use may? Yes, you can use. You may say, may I know the way to the railway station? May I know the way to the railway station? You can use. Don't think, as you have already a modal auxiliary is given here. It depends on you which modal auxiliary will you use. Whether you will use would or could or may or will. But in this situation, you should not use the modal auxiliary can for making a request. Now let us go through the third one. You want your room key from the receptionist in a hotel. Ask the receptionist to give you the key. Your modals are given can or may. If you want, sir, I am a very good person. I want to be polite or formal even with the receptionist. Then also you can use would or could. But generally, we are not formal. We don't make formal request to a receptionist. We are not formal with the rickshaw pullers, though they are senior to us. We are not polite to the laborers, though they are senior to us. But as a human, I should say to you, don't underestimate others. The persons who are senior to you should be respected. You should not be informal. You may informal, but if you use formal, that is also not wrong. Here both you are saying you can use may or can. May I get, or may you give me the key. You want your room key from the receptionist in a hotel. Ask the receptionist to give you the key. If you want to be informal, you can use the modal auxiliary can. Can you give me the key? Please. If you want, you can use comma and please. Can you give me the key of my room? Or you can also, if you want to be formal, you can use the modal may. May you give me the key of my room, please. May you give me the key of my room, please. Now let us go to the last one. You want a visitor to wait a minute while you get ready. visitor is not known to you or not well acquainted with you. So you should be formal with him. So either you use the modal auxiliary would or could. Would you wait? Would you wait? Would you wait a minute while I get ready? You can also use the modal auxiliary could. Could you wait a minute while I get ready? Now let us go through the activity number 2. Now activity 2. In activity 2 we are saying Manisha is ill and has to request her friend to do things for her. Use the models can or will or could for the request that she must make. And remember, more than one model is possible. See, in activity number 1, I say to you, we use the modal auxiliary can for making informal requests. Generally, we use modal auxiliary can to our friends for informal requests. But when we are making some unusual requests to our friends, in that situation, we should use the modal auxiliaries that express formal requests. Now, see the first one. Manisha wants some books to read. She would like her friend to get her some. In this situation, you should not be formal. You should be informal, and you can use the modal auxiliary can. Can you get me some books, please? Or can you please get me some books also you can use. Now let us go through the second one. Manisha wants some vegetable soup for lunch. See, this is an unusual request. Even though she makes this request to her friend, here you should use the modal auxiliary either would or could. Could you prepare or could you make some vegetable soup for lunch? Or you can write also, could you please prepare some vegetable soup for lunch? Then the next one, Manisha wants a friend not to go out and leave her alone. This is also an unusual request. So she should be formal and should use the modal auxiliary either would or could. Would you please stay with me and not go out? Manisha wants her friend not to go out and leave her alone. Would you please stay with me and not go out? Or you can also write, would you please not go out and stay with me? Clear? Now let us go to the last sentence, Manisha wants a friend to wash her clothes. This is also an unusual request. In such request, we should be formal. She should be formal. So we should use the modal either would or could. Could you wash? Could you wash my clothes? My clothes, please. Or you can write, could you please wash my clothes? See, I have worked out only 4 situations or 4 requests of activity 2. In the previous one also, I made only 4 situations. And another 4 or 5 situations you will find both in activity 1 and activity 2. We should be done by you. Now let us proceed to activity number 3. Now this is activity 3 of section 1. Here the question is, Sima is staying in Lina's house. Shima is staying in Lina's home as a guest. And Lina has to request Sima to do a few things for her, which she is not able to do herself for some reason or the other. See, first one is switch off the lights. As it is an unusual request, we have to use the modal either would or could, as would and could as modal auxiliaries convey the formal request. Could you please? Could you please switch off the light? Here you have to give the reason. The reason is I am feeling sleepy. I am feeling sleepy. Here. Now let us go through the second one. She makes another unusual request. Make some tea. She makes this unusual request to her guest. As she makes this unusual request to her guest, she should be formal. And you know, we use would or could for making formal requests. Would you please? Would you please make some tea? Here, now you have to give the reason. I am having a severe headache. She has to give a reason now why she makes an unusual request to her guest. Then water the plants in the garden. As she makes an unusual request to her guest, she should be formal and use either would or could. Would you or could you please water the plants in the garden? The request, formal request is made. Could you please water the plants in the region? She has to give a suitable reason. I have to go to market, or I have to go to the hospital to see an ailing friend. I had to go to the hospital to see my friend or my neighbor. I have to go to the hospital to see my friend there. Now another unusual request is made to the guest. Feed the dog. Here she should be more polite. And for more polite, I have also said to you to use would you mind? Would you mind? Would you mind? Would you mind? Feeding the dog. If you say, sir, would you please feed the dog? Or would you please feed the dog? Will be incorrect? No, they will not be incorrect. But the most appropriate will be if you use would you mind? Would you mind? M-I-N-D. Would you mind feeding the dog? And you have to give a reason. I have to go to attend my online class. Would you mind feeding the dog? And what reason you have given? I have to go, but I have to attend my online class. Here, in our next video, we will go through the section